Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me for another card making tutorial. This is Angie. The card that we're going to make today is what you can see on screen, and I've named this project To the Moon and Back. I'll be using this die set from Alina Craft. I'll link that down below. You'll also require a base for your note card and a top folding note card, like what you can see on screen. I'm going to be experimenting with some texture paste, a spatula and a stencil. I've chosen stars because that will go nicely with our galaxy background. You'll require a moon die, or you can use circle dies. I'll be using a sentiment To the Moon and Back and some coloured cardstock, including recycling my Makona label, and some glitter silver cardstock. Nothing's complete without glitter. You'll need a good glue. I use Ranger Multimedium Matte. And I'll dig out this die set that I've got that has some beautiful pursed lips. Now I'll link to that one below if it's still available, but I reach for this die set every time I use one of my little girl dies. You'll need a craft mat to protect your work surface. I just use a laminated piece of white cardstock. As we will be blending a galaxy background, I am using my Tim Holtz ink blending tools and distress inks in black soot, seedless preserves, wilted violet, chipped sapphire and blueprint sketch. I'm going to try and replicate this piece of cardstock that I've now run out of. I'll start by running my dies through my die machine. I'm showing you how I've made the moon. As I don't have a moon die, I'll be using circles to create the moon. And now that all the pieces are cut out, I'm going to start assembling my girl. I snip away at the hair to get that to sit how I like it. There's many ways to put this girl together, but this is how I like to use her. And then I'm gluing the body onto the skirt, popping her little top onto the dress. And this is very cute because this is when her little arms are showing, shrugging behind her back, which is super cute. Then I use the face as a stencil actually to pop those apple cheeks on and the glittery lashes. All that's left is the little lips to pop on to complete the face, and she's done. I really think those lips finish the look. Next we're going to stick the flowers on. I used 2 in the hair, sort of like a clip or a hair tie kind of thing. And then I scatter a few other ones over the dress, as you can see here. Before I use all the flowers up, I just decide which one I want to use to hold those little feet together. The little girl doesn't have any legs, so I find this just helps sort of make it a bit more cohesive. Then I apply the rest of the flowers across the dress, and I'm onto my galaxy background. So I'm not going to have you watching me blend through the whole lot, so this is basically all the colour, and then I'm grabbing the black soot and just blending from the edge in, just to give it that depth of colour and to make it really galaxy-like. And this really does just look like a hot mess. It's not until you add all the stars and the sprinkles that the picture really comes together, or the background really comes together. And the fun part, perfect pearls and water. Shake it up, spritz it from about 1.5 feet in the air, about 3 or 4 sprays. Then I'm lifting that up or dabbing it up with a microfiber cloth I'm noticing my paper's warping a tad, so I'm just going to fasten that down with some washi tape before I proceed any further. And I'm just sprinkling some large droplets of water. And you can really see that reacting with the distress inks, blotting that away, seeing if I want to add any more, and I think I'm happy with that. So now I'm using some Hero Arts Unicorn pigment ink, a spritz of water on an acrylic block, grabbing a paintbrush and splattering my stars. And that's when you can really see the galaxy come to life. What a difference that makes. I'll have you know this is the first time I've ever done a galaxy background or used the white pigment ink in that manner, so I'm just delighted how that turned out. It looks just like the paper I was trying to copy. And now I'm just securing my stencil down. It's short, so I'm going to cover the right hand side edge with a piece of copy paper to make sure that my texture paste doesn't go onto the rest of my project and ruin it. And we're away. Texture paste open, spatula ready to go, and I'm digging into it. I am fairly new at texture paste, so I never know how much to put on. I always figure I can add more. But you do want to work with it fairly quickly because you don't want it drying on your stencil or your spatula or anything like that, or your craft mat, because it is very, very difficult to clean up. Anyway, I finally got the hang of it and how much pressure to apply, and made sure it was in every nook and cranny of the points of the stars. And I think I'm just about there. And I don't think I could be a plasterer, however, that looks wow. I'm so happy with that. I've let that dry, cleaned all my stencil and my equipment, and now that it's dry to the touch, I am filling in the stencil at the top part, which I had to originally cover up because I'm working with a shorter stencil. And I should be a natural at it this time around. Boom, away I go. I'm so delighted with that background. And now it's time to figure out placement of the little girl. And having such a wow background, I feel like I need to bring our little girl up a little bit. So I've just found some gems to pop on as the centers of the flowers across the whole little girl. And then I'm going to adhere her and the moon to the card. And she fits perfectly. Looks like she's sitting there. All that's left to do is to pop her little ballet shoes on to make it look like she's kicking her legs up. And now I'm just adding some iridescent cup sequins, my ultimate favourite sequins. I'm scattering them here and there throughout the card. Before I actually glue them down, I'm just getting an idea of the placement. This is something I've learned from watching Yanis McCuller's tutorials, is to always physically put them there before I start gluing them down to get a good understanding of what it's going to look like. And then I've got the tiny centres of the sequins that were included in the bag, and I've just popped a couple of those here and there to look like tiny little glimmering stars. And it's hard to see on the screen, but it really does bring the card to life. Now that the card front's complete, I'm going to use my advanced tape glider gun to secure the card front to the note card base. As you can see, I'm just framing up the edges, popping a little adhesive in the middle as well, and then I'm going to line the card front up with the back. Make sure it's well aligned before I firmly press it down to lock it in place. Finishing touches is to pop our sentiment on. I'm using a stamp positioning tool to do this, so that if I need to stamp twice, which I did in this instance, I won't have any double lines or ruin my project on the home stretch. Once I'm happy with how it's lined up and I think it's all centered and squared up, I'll bring my platform front down, make sure it's lined up correctly on the grid, grab my Hero Arts Intense black ink up the stamp, and pop it onto the card. Trying not to apply too much pressure because you don't really want to distort those fine letters. And as you can see, I did need to stamp a second time. Here we go. Little bit more rubbing this time. Still not too much pressure, and perfect. And that completes our project for today. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much again for spending some time with me.